Hi, I'm Vanessa Bill, and I'm an Arbonne independent consultant. And today I'm doing a bunch of videos that kind of hit me in a whole big brainwave the other day. So I want to talk about major objections you get when you're approaching people to join your business. And two of the biggest ones are time and money. And it's the same in any business across the board. People don't have time and people don't have money. So I wanted to look at what a regular job, time-wise, would entail, and then look at network marketing and what that would entail in the differences between the two. So let's be honest. People say all the time they don't have time. And let's be really, really honest. They probably do have time because they're spending their evenings watching reality TV. The Bachelor was on last night, the finale. It was 3 hours long. 3 hours. I watched it. I spent 3 hours watching The Bachelor. So I'm pretty sure I could spend 3 hours a week, 4 hours, 6 hours a week on a network marketing business. And it takes on average in Arbonne to reach the top level of the company about 4 years. So I wanted to work it out. I'm a little bit of a math geek, so I'm trying to figure out the easiest way to explain this that isn't like far way out there for people. So if you worked at a regular job and you made $60,000 a year, so I just based it on mid-level management position making $60,000. And as a mom who went on maternity leave twice, obviously those years I didn't make a regular salary. And I had the unfortunate situation where I went back from my second leave and I still wasn't making what I made previous. And then you're looking at a whole bunch of different things that come up with being a parent and blah, blah, blah. So let's just say you make $60,000 a year. And if you started working when you were about 25, finished school, traveled around, were a bartender or whatever, they might make more than 60,000. But anyway, so let's say you start working, you're about 25, you want to retire at 65. The retirement age these days is about 72. So we're being very, very conservative here. So 25 to 65 is 40 years worth of your working life. And let's say you get 4 weeks vacation. Some people get 2, some people get 6. So let's just average it out. You get 4 weeks vacation a year, which when you really think about it, that's half the summer. So if you have small kids, you need to figure out what to do with them for the other half of the summer. And that doesn't include Christmas for 2 weeks and March break for 2 weeks and all of the other things that come along with having children. So if you work for 40 years and you work 48 weeks a year, you are looking at an average salary of $60,000, making $2.4 million in your lifetime, which is awesome. 2.4 million, woo! If you look at how many hours you spent working for that 2.4 million, you're looking at 76,800 hours. And I figured that number out by multiplying the 60,000 a year. I looked at 48 weeks of working, that's 4 weeks vacation off, and 8 hours a day every week over those 40 years, 76,800 hours. The unfortunate part is, I'm going to show you the whole page, which may not make sense, but you are looking at making $31.25 an hour. Now, consultants and people that work for an hourly rate or they trade time for money generally bill for more than $30 an hour. So it's going to take you a long time to get to that $2.4 million. Now, if you look at network marketing, and I said it took an average of 4 years to get to the top of the company, instead I worked it out the other way, where if I took 2.4 million as your finishing point, and I took what you would make on average just by barely getting to that top level of the company. So you need a certain volume amount, and you get a certain commission-ish off of that volume amount. So I was really conservative in how I figured that out. And it came out to 12 and a half years. The crazy part about it is 12 and a half years kind of seems long, but when you compare it to 40, it's still at about a quarter of the time. It only took 3,900 hours in total. So that's 6 hours a week. You can still make the 2.4 million at $31.25 an hour at your regular job. And you can add 6 hours a week and you can still make 2.4 million at your network marketing job. But the difference is you're making over $615 an hour. So the question now becomes, how do you afford not to do it when you're looking at making over $600 an hour compared to $30 an hour? I worked in fitness. I taught classes. I made $30 an hour, and I needed to give that up. So the idea of making $600 an hour seems pretty appealing. I don't know how people say they can't afford that time, because also being in fitness, you hear about people wasting their time. They sit on the highway for an hour and going each direction to work or commuting. They could be using that time making phone calls. They could be using that time talking to people. They could be using that time wisely in order to become financially free, because really that's the big goal here. The big goal in life is to be financially free and to help other people and to do what you can to bring people into financial freedom as well. Why wouldn't you? If you could do that, why wouldn't you do it? Just seems to make sense to me. So I'm going to do another objection on money, and I'll use the TV example again, but I'm going to do it in a totally separate video, so check for that on the big and major objections on why people can't start a network marketing business. And my question is, can you afford not to? Because I don't think you can. Talk to you soon.